And good morning, good morning. I'm sharing this for my Ram people. For some reason, that corner turbo bolt that goes up in the manifold backwards, upside down, that has kicked my butt all day yesterday. I was out here spraying and I was thinking that was going to be the easiest one. I had a good setup. Let me show you. You don't have to take the whole manifold or none of that off. Where's my tool? I'll show you the setup I use to get a socket. You can actually get a socket with a. This is an extendable 3/8 inch socket, so it can go. If you need more leverage, this can extend, and it's good. It's small while you're in that little tiny space, so you can extend this ratchet right here. This whole ratchet is an extendable ratchet. It's 3/8, and I've got a 3-inch adapter for the length, to extend the length, and I've got the universal joint and a 15-inch socket. Right, let me show you what I've been getting at. To get to this back bolt right there, that's what I use this setup for, and it could get directly on there with the turbo in place. But for those of you truck people who know, you see the first part of my turbo missing because yesterday this thing kicked my butt, right? So the turbo was with the turbo on there in place, with this bracket that holds this band that holds the turbo. This bolt comes up, so you got to get around that bolt to get that setup I just showed you back on in that corner, right? And it's very tight. You can't get an impact wrench in here to get that. So after it kicked my butt all day yesterday, I kept spraying because there's a hole right here on top of this little manifold. When you spray, it'll seep down, and that way you can use like PB blaster or whatever you want to use when you're preparing to take the bolts off. I've got all 3 of these nuts already loose, but I just tighten them back up to get leverage to see if that would help me loosen this. I've put all my weight on it. I've come down to the side in this little area that I created to stand up, put pressure. For some reason, that bolt is just tight, and I put anti-seize on it before I put it back up, so it's just really tight. So this morning when I got up, what came to my spirit was take the part of the turbo off. I'd never thought of this before, and I've never seen anyone who did this. So that is why I am sharing. When you have to replace your turbo, that band right here that holds the turbo in place, this nut, this is a 12 millimeter nut that goes on here. Loosen this band and go ahead and, I got it stuck down there. Loosen this band and go ahead and get this metal first part of the turbo out of the way, and then look at how much space you've got. Now I can get my small head impact wrench down in there, and now I could use, or if I had a torque multiplier, if you had a torque multiplier wrench, you can use a torque multiplier wrench, because clearly that's gonna need more pressure than what my little arms can provide. And because it's just me, I'm just a female. I just got female strength. Most men, if they had male strength, they probably would have been able to get this off. But in the event that you are a man and you can't get this off, this is the little hack. Remove that first part of the turbo out of the way and look at all that space. No manifold has to be removed or any of that. Once you get that cleared off, then boom, you can just put this back down together. Once you get the back bolt off, then it'll be even lighter to lift this turbo out of here. So lifting it out will be lighter than putting a new one in. The new one in, everything will come on it. But still, look, that's out of the way. So I just thought I'd share that for anybody that has to replace a turbo. This is the easiest way to do it. And I didn't do this last time. Last time I was able to get the bolt off and I just pulled everything out of here together. But look how much space that gives to work in this area. If you want to get an impact wrench down there, you could. You got so much more space now, right? So anyway, thank me after you get the job done. Have a blessed day. See, I got it off already. And if you ever have to replace a turbo, do exactly what I just told you. And now, and then I got that off, because see that over there, where this nut came from, that's just a stud. that stays inside of the manifold. So when this turbo uh, drops down, that stud is inside of the manifold. And that hole up there, when you put this up, when you get the turbo off, before you put the new one on, you want to put anti-seize all over, clean the bolt, and then put anti-seize over it again. And for some reason, it shouldn't have been that hard. Put some PB. At first, I used liquid wrench, and I used PB blaster as well in this little hole. Got the nut off. Gave me more space to get straight to it. You can get a socket on it, and then these are already pretty much loose. I've already broken these loose before I started. See. So what I'm gonna do now is, you see, that's loose already. So I'm gonna get to the back side of this. Okay. Gonna get to the side. I've already taken the actuator off. So when you lift this out of here, it's gonna be much lighter coming out. Coming in is gonna be heavier because everything is connected, right? You're gonna have the actuator and you're gonna have the bracket on the front of this flywheel already connected as well, but there's still enough space to slide it down on in here. How do I know? Because I've done it before. So anyway, I'm just gonna take my time and loosen these back bolts, and then when I loosen these back bolts, I'll come back up top and finish taking this front bolt off, and I'll slide everything down and lift it out from the top. Okay guys, I got all the bolts out of the turbo. So now I'm going to lift this bad boy out of there. Well, probably got to come down there and knock it down some. It is low, so I probably have to move the camera. Yep, I've got to get where's my little hammer? Gotta move the camera. I had to move the camera and get it down some. And I had to unbolt the bottom transmission lines so that I can wiggle this out. And then I think this top stud, I think I had to go down on this the last time. Should be able to. It's that top. Let me see. I have to come to the bottom again. Oh shucks. I definitely didn't mean to push it backwards. Come on up here. Gotta get down. Oh, I might be able to. No, I can't fit it right there. I definitely don't want to bend that oil line hose again. Last time I bent that, and it took me a while to flatten it back out to the bottom of the turbo. Now let me get up top again. With that flywheel off, it definitely makes it better, easier. There we go. Straight through the top. Woo! Less heavier too. The hardest part is gonna be getting this bad boy back down in there. Oh boy. Because I'm gonna put it down in there. The hardest part is gonna be getting it back down in there, because when I put it back down in there, this band and everything that that I took off. Actually, let me go ahead and put that back on now that I got it out. My wrench. See, this ain't that heavy, but when you mix it all together, this is heavier by itself, this metal. So when you add something on it, it's going to be even heavier. Plus, it's going to have the actuator attached. And what I'm going to do is take the actuator off until I'm going to take the actuator of the new one off until I get this settled down in there. Then I'll put the actuator back on. But that's all I did to make it much easier, get more room, is I just loosened that band right there. And that has a 12 millimeter bolt. And I don't know if the new one comes with a speed sensor. If it does, then I won't take this off. But if it doesn't, I'll take this off, the speed sensor off. I'm going to look at my new one first. It'll come with new gaskets and everything. But yeah, that's it. Bada boom, bada bing. And I'm just going to put this, back over this flywheel like that. And then just tighten it back down. Tighten it back down just like that. And I didn't loosen the manifold or none of that. I try to work smart and not hard. If I can look at something for a while first, then I got it. And really, what took me so long to get that bolt off, I didn't even realize that nut, that back nut that I was having an issue with. I'm spraying it. I'm like, why is this so much tighter? And I know I put anti-seize on it. I've already broke the nut off of the first three, with a regular hand wrench. The first time I took this thing off, everything was so seized up, I couldn't use just a hand wrench. I had to spray it for like 2 or 3 days, and then I had to put my hand wrench on it and just nigger rig something, connect a socket with another hand wrench. A socket with the extension to give me a slight leverage just to break them loose after 3 days of soaking them. But this time, that bottom nut, I knew it shouldn't have been that tight. And you know what? The reason it was that tight, I didn't realize to flip the switch, because it was on the bottom, like how these nuts were on the top. So lefty loose, right tight. But the one that was on the bottom, I should have flipped it over, and instead of trying to go left again, I was supposed to pull back to the opposite way because it was flipped over. So that was all on me. But hey, I'm glad I didn't break the nut off in there, the bolt off in there, but the stud. But another thing is, had I gotten it off yesterday, I would have never thought to loosen this flywheel. This just came to my spirit this morning when I was trying to get more leverage up under there, clearance, because I was like, well, maybe I need to put my impact wrench over there. And it just came to my spirit, take the, loosen that band and take the front part off. And I was like, I didn't think about that. So I loosened it, and here you have it, it's off. Make sure I got it. No, I'm tightening it without putting the band all the way back on. So anyway, that's it. Maybe that'll help somebody. Anytime you gotta take the turbo off, that's a trick right there to loosen that, loosen the entire, this band right here. And it makes it a lot easier. You get more room to get up under there to loosen that back bolt if you need it. And you don't have to take the manifold or none of that off. You got all that clearance that you can just get this thing in there, loosen the transmission lines. You don't have to drain the transmission full of anything. Just loosen the bolt that holds it in place, because you need to slide the lines out of the way just so you can get enough clearance to get this in there. And that's pretty much it. Yep. So anyway, that's it.